Okay, got the pickup. Let's see where we're going. Going down to Hollywood. Leave that door. We're going west. But I need to charge my phone. All right, let's see. So we look at the battery at 71%. I had turned it off, went inside, a few minutes off while I picked the pickup, showing 71%. We still have 4 battery bars left. We lost one. We've gone 20, gone about 20 miles. So I'm pretty happy so far, man. I am pretty happy. Now, as I've always said, there's not a single bike that's perfect. Every bike has a flaw here and there. But for this one, so far the only flaw that I have seen on this bike is I like to pedal, so it's the pedaling. But to be fair to the bike, these moped style e-bikes are not designed to be pedaled. They're really not. They're meant for you just to use the throttle. But I like to get exercise, so I like to move my body. Man, I just love how smooth this bike is. And finally the sun came out, but the weather's been perfect. You see what I'm saying? It was at 71% when we turned it on. It dropped back down to 63. Now it went back up to 64. I mean, I can't stand percentages because you can never really tell what you have. Now in this case, we got the percentage and the battery bar. I'm not gonna head home until this thing drops down to 1 battery bar. And then we'll see where we are in range. Now, so far, it's exceeding my expectations. We're at 20 miles, guys, or close to 20 miles, right? We're at 18.3, so it's definitely going to exceed my expectations. I thought we were gonna be probably down to like 20, 30% by the time we got to 20 miles, and we're not. All right, let's get to this delivery. Let's drop this off. All right, we're almost at the drop off. One thing I have not talked about the bike is how good these brakes are. These brakes are phenomenal. Now again, taking into account that it's a very light bike, right? Unlike my wired and my goat bikes that are so heavy. So I feel like these brakes are just great. But again, the stopping power, it doesn't need a lot of stopping power because it's not a big bike. I'll try to get this Uber order. Nine minutes away. Turn this baby on. We are 2 miles away. All right, we are here at the CVS. So just to give you an update, we're stopping at 44%. We have 2 battery bars. As I mentioned, I'm heading back home at 1 battery bar. But let's see what we got when we get done here. Turn that off, I did. Okay. Start shopping. Plan B is here. I get a lot of these Plan Bs, bro. What's up with that? All right, and then I get the Plan B. Thank you.
Remember to always scan your item before. Welcome. If you have your extra care card, please scan it. Place your item in the bag.
Okay, so this is 1. Now we have the Plan B.
Thank you for shopping at CVS. Please remove all bagged items.
All right, guys. We had 2 shop orders. Now let's go deliver them that. All right, we got a delivery at the Dunkin' Donuts. Let's go pick this up. Man, I'm glad the sun came out. Man, I was freezing. I'm still cold. It's just so freaking windy. But let's head and pick up this Dunkin' Donuts. Damn it, this has a latte. Let's see. All right, we're down to 1 battery bar, 8%. And we got 1 order. I got a coffee order, I think. Very close to you, less than a half a mile away. But we will do this pickup and then head home, and I'll give you the final numbers. But man, today was a rough day. Super windy, like crazy windy. What sucks is I'm not gonna be able to give you, well, I'll talk about that in a second, because it's just too windy here. I gotta get across. Alrighty then. So what I was gonna say, what sucks is I didn't get an opportunity to show you how this bike climbs, right? And our overpasses. But take my word for it, it is not a climbing beast. It struggles with this heavy headwind. It struggles to just get through this heavy wind. So I can't imagine how bad it's going to struggle going up a 30+% incline. It'll struggle. You're going to have to pedal. So, but for me, I'm in Florida. I don't have any major hills or any hills, period, except for the overpasses. And I like to pedal, so it doesn't really matter to me. All right, let me put this up. Oh my God, they're gonna really test my limits here. 4 café con leches, bro. That is insane. Where am I going? Because if it's far, I'm canceling this. There's no way I can, let's see. Actually, it's not far. It's right over here. All right. All right, so we got the 4 coffees, which are going to be a major freaking issues. 4 freaking large coffees. All right, let's see if we can see how bad we spill this coffee on the way to this delivery. What sucks is right across. It's really right across, but I gotta go all the way to freaking Griffin down there. Let's see if I can actually make it easier. Which way is gonna be better? I'm actually gonna go the long way, to be honest. I'm gonna go this way. Yeah, I think this was a better route. So I got one battery bar left. I got about 10% battery according to the percentage. Pedal assist 5, throttle only. I lost a lot of power because I'm only going 26 miles an hour. Now granted, I'm going into a very heavy headwind and I'm sure you can hear it, but wind should be at my back now. So let's see how fast we go with the wind to my back. I don't think we're gonna go much faster than 26. 27. It flashed 27, but I don't think we're going much faster. So we're going to this tow truck place that always, I mean, I don't understand it, bro. But I'm showing 0% battery on here. But good thing we're right next to the house. I'm gonna pause the app, switch out bikes, because it's still early, it's only 10 o'clock. And we covered 31 miles, guys, 31 miles. I'll give you the final numbers when I get home. Should be like 32, 33. But I'm impressed, very impressed. Let's see. Holy smokes, guys. Look at that. But this, I love the bike. Love the bike. Zero spillage. I got to deliver it?
Gracias.
All right, that, my friends, is a testament to the fact that I had this on my back and the suspension on this bike and how smooth this bike rides. Super impressed. Super, that's impressive, bro. You have no idea. All right, let's head to the house. Oops, didn't put my kickstand up. Let's head to the house and I'll give you my final numbers, final thoughts. All right, guys, we're going to be done. Let me give you the final numbers and I'm gonna give you my final thoughts. So, right, we finished with 13% battery, 1 battery bar, right? Again, I really don't understand what that means. As I was riding, it actually showed me 0%, but it had 1 battery bar. And as you can see on that last delivery, I did lose a lot of power. At pedal assist 5, full throttle, I was only going up to 26 miles an hour. But again, I am impressed. I'm gonna tell you why I'm impressed. We went 32.64 miles. Average speed was 13.7. We rode for 2 hours and 23 minutes. So to get 32 miles on this bike, which is a 20 amp hour battery, it's not a small battery, it's a 48 volt, 20 amp hours. It's not small, but it's not a big battery either. And on my bigger batteries on some of these other bikes, I'm not getting, or I'm not really getting as much as I got with this bike. Or it's close, but not as much, but super impressed. So in terms of range and battery power, it's not a bad bike. Here's what I'm gonna do though. I am going to probably add maybe another 20 amp hour battery or a 10 or 15 amp hour battery. Maybe I won't go 20. I just need maybe another 10 miles. And then I think this bike is going to be perfect for me. I actually love this bike. It's a lot of fun to drive or ride. It's so nimble and I can maneuver it anywhere. I feel comfortable riding it on the sidewalk, as some of my other bikes, they're so big, I'm not comfortable riding it on the sidewalk, so I stay on the street. So very impressive that. But let me give you my final thoughts. Oh, let me give you my final numbers here, and then I'll give you the final thoughts. First of all, let me finish this. Save that. Let me go to DoorDash. DoorDash, we did 11 plus 27.85 or 17.85. That's what, 28, almost $29. And on Uber, 12.50, and that's without the tips. You know, maybe we'll get another I don't know, $5 in tips, right? But let's just stick with that. Let's just stick with $13. So you're looking at 40 something dollars that I made in 2 hours. Wasn't great, but it wasn't bad, especially since I spent, because I'm staying in my house in Fort Lauderdale because my house here is getting remodeled. So I had to drive I had to ride the bike for about 30 minutes before I got into my zone before I can do a pickup. So not bad. All right, guys, let me give you my final thoughts on the bike. We already went through the numbers, but overall, I'm loving this bike. The entry point is perfect. And one of the reasons why I actually agreed to take the bike and get the bike was because I got a lot of you guys complaining that a lot of the bikes that I have are, you know, the price point is too high for them. Which, okay, here's a bike that you can get for under $800. And if you use one of the discount codes that you can find from other influencers, you can get this bike for right about $700, maybe $710, something like that. Don't quote me on that, but it's gonna be really close to that $700 mark. So, and as a reminder, here's everything you get for $700. You get a bike that's fast. This bike goes, as you saw, about 36, 37 miles an hour. But again, keep in mind, that's with me on it, and I'm a 150-pound rider. If you're heavier, you're a lot heavier, not just heavier, a lot heavier. You may not get that 36, 37, 38 miles an hour that I got, right? That was the range that I was getting. So it's a fast bike. The range on it, it's a 20 amp hour battery, but we got 30 miles on it. More than enough for you to dash if you want to dash with it and make some money to pay off the bike if money is an issue, right? And or to use this bike for your daily commute or to run errands, so that you cannot use your car and save money. Again, by doing that, this bike will get paid off very, very quickly. It's only $700. So that's for me huge plus. And let me continue with what you get. You get a bike that's comfortable. You get a bike that has turn signals. Now the turn signals are only on the back, but there's a lot of bikes out there, and I've already mentioned this before. My Wired Scout doesn't have any turn signals. My Ehora bikes don't have any turn signals. This one at least has turn signals in the back. You get, I've already talked about how comfortable it is. Probably, I would say the number one reason why I love this bike for me is how the suspension on it, and again, how smooth it is when riding. You saw on that last delivery, I can't tell you the last time I delivered coffee like that without spilling any coffee. First time in a very long time, and I can't remember when it ever happened to me. We did not spill any coffee while delivering those 4 large hot coffees. That, my friends, for me, is super impressive because I haven't been able to do that. It's difficult to deliver coffee. If you subscribe to this channel, you know how I hate delivering hot coffee. Today, they gave me 4 large hot coffees and we delivered that without spilling a drop, which makes me super impressed with the bike itself. Again, you're able to pedal this if you want. Now, I'm gonna give you some of the cons. Because again, no bike is perfect. Con number 1 is if you are taller than me, if you're 5'10" or taller, forget about pedaling the bike. It's just it's not going to be comfortable at all. It's going to be difficult. I believe I saw a video with an influencer, and he was pedaling, and he was 6 feet tall. But man, his knee was coming up to his chest. Definitely not a comfortable bike. But again, to be fair with the bike, these moped style e-bikes are not designed to be pedaled. So take it for what it is. I like the grips. We didn't get a chance to test out the headlight yet because I haven't been able to ride it at night. Don't think it's the best headlight out there. I don't think it's going to be, but it should be fine. I don't ride it at night as much, so for me, that's not a big deal. The other thing, let me go over, I took some notes, so let me just go over some of the notes that I want to talk about. Here's a couple of other things that are very good with this bike. If you buy this bike comes with a 1-year warranty, right? Let me just go back. Let me confirm that. If it's just 1 year, it might be 2. Okay, it comes with a 1-year warranty. It has a 14-day trial. So you can ride it for 14 days. If you don't like it, you can return it, right? Now, how easy it is going to be to return a bike like this, I don't think it's going to be easy. So if you have any doubt when you unpack this, go ahead and make sure that you don't destroy the box, because you have to put everything back in the box to ship it back. Now, talking about shipping, right? This bike, again, came to me, I guess because it's light, it's easier to transport. But to assemble the bike, this by far has to be the easiest bike I've ever put together. Super easy. All you have to do is put the handlebar, the front tire, and that front fender. That's it. Everything else is already assembled. It was the fastest and easiest assembly that I've ever done since I've been doing this stuff with e-bikes. So that's another big plus with this bike. I talked about the torque on it. That's a con. Doesn't have a lot of torque. Off the line is great, but it was super windy today. Like crazy windy. If you're not aware, they had that hurricane in Jamaica, and we get affected here in South Florida by any hurricanes in the Caribbean with very heavy gust of wind, and it struggled, right? I went from 36, I believe, at one point. I think I was riding at 36, hit a gust of wind and it dropped me down to 32. So it struggles with that. And as I mentioned already, I didn't get a chance to go over any of the overpasses, but I'm here to tell you it's not a climbing beast. It's not. If you live in an area where it's super hilly, this ain't the bike for you. It's gonna struggle going up hills. But let me see if there's anything else I want to mention here. I love a bike. Oh, the torque, because I think I misquoted the torque. On their website, it says that it has 120 Newton meters of torque. I think I said 180 earlier on, but it's 120. If you buy the bike, it also gets shipped from the US, and it'll get to you very quickly. You'll get it within 5 to 6 days. So that's another big plus for it. Let me see what other notes I made here. All right, I think that's it. I think I covered it all. Again, great option for those of you that complain that some of my other bikes are too expensive. Highly recommend this bike. Also highly recommend this bike if you have a teenager to get to and from school. Man, this is phenomenal, man. I wish when I was a teenager, I would have had this. This was available for me when I was a teenager, because man, it would have made my life a lot easier. Because when I was in school, I had to go pretty far. I would have to take some buses sometimes because I like to save my money. I would keep some of the bus money that my mother would give me, and I would walk. But nonetheless, anyways, I'm gonna wrap this up. Great bike. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Any questions, any comments, list them below. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one.